you don't get to do that. So it's not, everything needs to be.
Sir, I'm not a lawyer.
I understand that.
Okay, I'm not bound by the same rules as a lawyer. I'm not part of the bar or anything.
That's not true at all.
It's not true?
Whether you have a lawyer here or not, the rules will be the same. That's what I mean.
So it's my obligation to know every court rule.
If you're going to represent yourself in this proceeding, it's your obligation to
Okay.
go to the proceeding.
But you did hear Fasano's employees saying specifically, Mike Fasano and Tim told us,
Yes,
people are allowed to record in here. These are the people who wrote the policy.
I did hear that.
Okay, very good.
I don't know what weight I'm putting on it yet compared to
Okay,
the written.
I mean, if that doesn't hold weight, nothing will. This is not when I give case law, right?
No. Just questions for Mr. Gentry.
All right, I think Mr. Gentry thoroughly debunked himself, so I'm done with him.
Don, do you have any follow-up questions of Mr. Gentry based on the questions of Mr. Filax?
I have some brief follow-up. Okay, Mr. Gentry, you can't stand here today and say 100% beyond all doubts that the appellant was recording in your office that day, correct?
No, sir, I didn't.
Is it your determination, based on his actions, based on your observations that day, that on the totality of the circumstances, that it appeared to you that he was recording?
Yes, sir.
That would have initiated you to ultimately call the sheriff's office in this case?
Yes, sir.
During your cross-examination, it was asked, you had indicated that you asked the appellant while inside the lobby prior to law enforcement arriving what public record he was there for. Is that correct?
Yes,
Did you ask him that?
I did.
Objection. You did not ask him that.
Yeah.
And if I had video, I could prove it.
Mr. Felix, if you don't like his answer.
It's not his answer, I don't like, it's the lie. It's a lie.
Okay, but as a finder of fact, is what I am as a presiding hearing officer, I have to take what he says and give it weight, and I have to take what you say and give it weight. Just because you tell me it's a lie, how do I know it's
The
a
whole
lie?
point is that I could prove it if I had my constitutional right to
That's not the
record.
point. That's not why we're here today.
That is
would
the
be an
point.
argument against the policy in and of itself. And I'm not here to do that.
So would you rather have an objective record or verbal testimony?
I'm not here to determine that. I'm here to determine whether they apply the policy that's in place appropriately with the trespass ordinance. That's what I'm here for. If you want to challenge the constitutionality of the policy, you would have to do that through the circuit court. I'm sorry. It is how it is.
Interesting.
When you asked
It's
him,
facts.
Hmm?
It's facts. I don't have the authority to rule that it's unconstitutional.
And you don't have to follow your oath.
Excuse
You
me?
don't have to follow your oath to the Constitution. Is that correct? You don't have to follow Article 1, Section 24A and B.
I'm not answering that. because
Okay, very good.
It's not even in the realm of reasonable context at all.
Following the law is not in the realm of reasonable context. Interesting.
There is tons of case law that interpret the Constitution and apply it in different scenarios and factual situations in different reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions.
And I've given you all the case law.
I don't have any case law today.
I gave it all to you last hearing and you ignored it.
I'm not. That's not fair to say either. I
Of course it is.
Everything.
What's that?
I don't have the ability to rule that the policy is unconstitutional.
I'm not asking you that.
That's
Smith
what
v.
you were
Cummings
asking
says you can
last
record.
time.
Smith v. Cummings says you can record public officials in the course of their duty, and anywhere the public's allowed to be, so is the press. Article 1, Section 24A and B says I can make public records requests and I can copy them in any form or fashion, including a camera. Part B says that if I have a meeting with a public official,
You're challenging the constitutionality of the policy.
I'm not.
That's not why we're here.
the law says
What law?
Article 1, Section 24A.
Right, again, you're challenging the constitutionality of the policy.
So the Constitution is not the law.
It's not what I said.
24A says I can copy in any form or fashion my public records and meetings with a public official. That's the law.
I don't think it says in any form or fashion.
It does.
Okay, I don't think it does say that.
It does.
Okay.
So, where we left off, you asked him inside the lobby prior to law enforcement arriving what public record he was there for, correct?
Yes.
And did he provide you that public record?
No, sir.
Okay. And was some of your interaction with the appellant that day captured on video by one of your employees?
Some of it, yes, sir.
Have you had a chance to review that video prior to this hearing?
No, sir, I haven't.
What's the relevance of the video? Objection, relevance.
And I'll play a copy for the appellant before I
Objection.
show it to them.
Objection, relevance.
He's answering it. He said he would play it for you before he shows it to me.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Well, I'm here, letting him finish his answer, so I know what this.
The relevance is that the video depicts exactly what they're having a dispute about, of Mr. Gentry asking the appellant for the public record, and the appellant not telling him the public record. So he's raised that issue. He's raised that issue through his cross-examination. To his own point, is in the video the best evidence. It's that interaction's on video.
How can you have video when you're not allowed to record it? If I can't have video for my testimony, how come they get to submit video for their testimony? Again, that would be discrimination.
I think that's the definition of discrimination.
Well, the prejudice, whatever synonym you want to use. Again, that's unfair. I would love to have an objective record of what happened too, but I'm not allowed. But their employees and the police can have all the objective record they want to use against me, but I can't have it to defend myself in a bogus trespass appeal here.
Bogus trespass.
Correct.
What do you mean?
Well, they're starting with the conflict of interest, starting with the fact that I can't make an objective record, even though the Florida Constitution says I can, and subsequent case law.
What prevents you from walking outside and then recording the interaction?
Because they won't come outside with me. They want to push me out, and then they stay in, and they even lock the door. As if like I'm a school shooter. They treat you like you're a school shooter when you go in there. He acted like a corrupt cop, point blank. And when he told me he was a cop, it explained everything to me.
What does that mean?
I'm a police accountability activist for 20 years. Everything you saw on the stand here today is what I refer to as cop-splaining. Answering questions that aren't asked, deflecting, dodging, diciness, lying. That is, if you read any police report and compare it to their body cam footage, you'll see they never, 90% of the time, they never match up. The courts have ruled the police are allowed to lie. His training, obviously, has carried forward into his current position.
I just going to respectfully object in that procedurally, this is not the time for his argument. This is my opportunity to ask rebuttal questions of the witness who he had on.
You're right, and that's probably my fault for engaging. We'll get to your argument, okay?
Mm-hmm.
The appellant's indicated he's already seen the video. Do you need to see it again?
Who's with his video?
So, well, I'm just going to show the
Is
gentleman.
it the video that you took?
Yes.
I'm good, I saw it. Good.
Mr. Gentry. May I review?
Can I watch it at the same time?
Yes. You want me to come over there, Mr. Valley, or are you going to play it again?
If you can come around, I was going to.
Sorry, I wasn't aware of what you were doing at first.
I don't know why it's.
I think he's trying to catch it.
Playing it from the internet?
Go back.
order that I'm showing. This isn't admissible the way it's chopping right now.
Felix, I watched the video on your cell phone.
It wasn't chopping.
Watch this.
Go ahead. Am I being hostile there?
You're on redirect.
I'll follow up, no problem.
What I'm gonna do, I'll try and transfer it off the network, we'll come back to this.
That's fine.
Got some other stuff for you. Well, that copy's over, and I think it's gonna take a minute. Your office has a manager, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's manager over the Wesley Chapel location.
Yes, sir.
So how many tax collectors' offices in Pasco County?
5.
And each of those 5 offices, each has its own office manager?
Yes, sir.
So is the office manager tasked with setting the day-to-day operations of the office?
Yes, sir.
And the way a Wesley Chapel office manager may be different from the way a Land O'Lakes office manager runs the office, is that fair to say?
Objection, relevance.
The relevance is he's raised some statements of the management in the Land O'Lakes office as to the way they treat video recording. The witness testified in cross-examination, he was not aware of any of that.
I think that's fair, you did bring that up. So if he's trying to establish that they could be different places.
How can it be different when they have the same boss and same underboss?
I think that's what he's trying to prove to me right now, is that,
They all have the same boss. They all have the same rules.
okay.
They all have to follow
You
the
can make
same
your
policies.
argument. You can,
Okay,
I would suggest you take notes, make an argument at the end.
all right.
Just because you disagree with testimony, or you tell me it's a lie, I'll take all that into consideration.
Very good.
The video that came up during your cross-examination from the Land O'Lakes office, had you ever seen that video before?
No, sir, I haven't.
Is that consistent with any directive you've been given in your employment?
No, sir.
You ever seen a situation where 25 journalists came into the office with their cameras turned off and set up cameras?
No, sir.
Objection, relevance.
Yeah, what is your relevance to that?
Well, he raised that as, well, you would allow that, wouldn't you, because they're not recording? Just trying to point out.
He testified as long as they're not recording, they can bring camera equipment in.
Just trying to show that.
Yeah, I may have missed the 25 journalists. I thought he talked about bringing in
25 cameras.
cameras.
Yeah, correct, not journalists.
You ever seen 25 cameras come into your office
No, sir.
unannounced?
Objection, everyone has a camera in their pocket. So if there's 25 people in there, there's 25 cameras in there. That doesn't include theirs.
You can make your arguments.
I'm making an objection, he's saying there's never been 25 cameras in there, and that's blatantly false, because everyone has a camera in their pocket. So there has been 25 cameras in there.
Yeah, and that's argument. Okay.
Okay.
I have no further redirect.
I can follow up on that?
Keep working on it.
Only based on what you saw in the video and what he asked. That's how we redirect.
In that video you just saw, was I being peaceful?
Yes.
Was I being calm?
Yes.
Did I maintain that demeanor up until you forced me out?
No.
No?
No.
When was I not?
The longer we waited, the longer we got there, the longer the conversation we had, the more upset you got.
You mean when I kept asking you to leave me alone and you wouldn't?
Yes, I was doing my job.
Your job is to bother me?
If you take it that way, yes, sir.
Okay, so your job is to bother me. That's your testimony today? Okay, very good. Did he take my property to the back?
I don't know, sir. You'd have to ask him.
Okay. Is he going to be coming up on the stand? This gentleman?
He's not, you can call him as a witness.
Okay. Did you notice the 10 other people recording in there that day?
No, I didn't.
How come?
I didn't see anybody with cameras exposed, so I don't know, sir.
So only if it's exposed, people can be recording? Is that what you're saying?
Sir, if they have their camera in their pocket, I don't know what they're doing, sir.
Okay, so if I had my body cam recording in my pocket, everything would have been fine?
I would have never seen your camera, sir.
So as long as you don't see it and wonder and feel like someone's recording, it's fine.
So how do I know you're recording if I don't see it?
You didn't know I was recording that day either. Correct? You've already testified
If I
that.
see the red light
You've
flash,
already
I
testified
just-
that.
and I tell you the same
You've
thing.
already testified that you didn't know.
I said I
And
did
there's
not
no
know
way for you to know.
100% I did not know.
Correct. So you didn't see the other 10 people recording either then, right?
No, sir, I didn't.
Okay, very good. So you don't know. You didn't know if I was. You didn't know the other 10 people were recording. You didn't know. You went by your feelings and your emotions.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are you done with this witness?
I'm done with this one.
Or you want to play that video?
I'll try and play it through the next witness.
All right, next witness.
Can we take a potty break?
Sure. We'll take 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Maybe 10 minutes.
10, please. If you don't mind.
Yeah, we'll come back at 12:11.
Appreciate it.
No, she just got back.
No, it said you start at 11 after. Are you ready to?
Let the time go, so you can come back. If he doesn't, that's fine.
Okay.
Hey, Mr. Rizzo, has your body camera? No. While the trial's going? You're not gonna run today? If you want to resume, sir, go ahead.
Okay.
County to call Mr. George Zamora. We'll go right to the stand, sir.
Mr. Zamora, were you here when the oath was given earlier?
Yes, sir.
Did you take the oath?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Zamora, what do you do for work?
I'm the supervisor at the Paschal Tax Collector in the Wesley Chapel office.
Okay, when you say supervisor, over the whole office, or what kind of supervisor? What's your title?
Yes, customer service supervisor 1 over the whole office. I do some of the more complex transactions in the back, such as the fast titles. I review transactions that were processed, making sure all the proper documents were scanned into record. Just more so reviewing in the back.
Okay. Want to take you to February 2nd of 2024. Were you working that afternoon?
Yes, sir.
And did you become aware of a disruptive incident in the lobby of your office?
Yes, sir.
How's that?
I was in the middle of a transaction with the clerk, and the safety agent Jeff came up, and he gave me the code word party time, where that lets me know there's somebody in the office recording, and to come up recording to let the customer know that they're not allowed to record in the office.
Okay, when you say Jeff, you're referring to Mr. Gentry?
Yes, Mr. Jeff.
Okay. your office has a video recording policy?
Yes, sir.
Members of the public who come into the office are not allowed to record without prior authorization?
Correct.
So did you then go out and observe Mr. Gentry interacting with the appellant?
Yes, sir.
What was the nature of the discussion?
So whenever I walked out, Jeff was letting this customer know that he wasn't allowed to record in the office. The gentleman then stated that he was here for a public record request. Jeff asked him what record he was here for. The gentleman didn't tell him which specific record. He said, she knows, referring to the clerk at the front desk. He then stated, are you going to deny a judge's order? So once he showed that document on his clipboard, I then asked him if I could take it to the back to my manager for review, and he said yes. So that was when I left, and then in the lobby and took the document to my manager.
Okay. So while you were out there observing this, did you observe anything about the appellant indicative of the fact that he was video recording in your office?
Yes. So once he told me, as soon as I walked out, I knew to look for a camera, and I then seen it on his chest. It was on his chest. There was a red light flashing. Whenever I walked out, it was whenever he turned his body to me, and he asked me if I was going to refuse the court order. And that's when I didn't know what document it was, so I just got a closer look. But I did notice that he did have the camera on him.
And that interaction that you just testified to, did you capture that on video?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Were you instructed to video record it as part of your employment?
Yes, sir.
In doing so, were you acting within the scope of your employment?
Yes, sir.
You can approach the witness and attempt to play the same video from earlier.
Felix, you want to approach?